Hello, Teacher Christy back again with another video for you. Hey, just wanted to remind you, if you like these videos, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. That lets me know that people are actually watching the videos, and then I'll keep making them. I'll keep making them as long as you guys want to see them. So let me know. Okay, today I want to talk about the Dragonboat Festival. One of the things that I've done throughout the year is I've studied up on the Chinese holidays. And there's a couple of reasons why I want to study the Chinese holidays. First and foremost, that honestly, I want to know how it's going to affect my schedule. How is it going to affect my teaching? How can I maximize, the classes that I can teach, and how do I minimize any downtime? And I did a video about that yesterday, is how to make the festivals work for you. Every single Chinese festival has ended up being a huge boon to my finances and class scheduling. You just have to work around it a little bit, and that video should tell you a little bit more about that. I also want to know, because I want to spur conversations with my students, and if I know a little bit about each festival, then I can sort of guide them or lead them into telling me something about the festival. And this is great for extending conversation. It's great for getting them excited. Parents love to see kids talking about their culture to you. Kids love to share. And I found that I need to know a little bit about it for most kids in order to draw that out of them. So I research it so I can improve conversation. I also want to know if there are things that we say. For example, Happy Dragonboat Festival. These are things I'm going to write my feedback. Again, to be spreading goodwill, but it's also very good for getting regulars and developing relationships. So what are some appropriate things that we say during that time that we can show that we are culture competent, but also being, kind in the cordial way. I also extend whatever greeting is appropriate if we're having a holiday. So I'll say, today's Thanksgiving. We give thanks for the things in our lives, and I'm thank you for you. So they love this cultural exchange. So here's what I know about the Dragon Festival. The first thing I do is I research it, but I learned really quickly that all of my research didn't translate into real life. So I'm going to tell you the research. I'm going to tell you what the historical context is, but then what my students are saying about it, because I think that helps us not be culturally inappropriate. They're not necessarily doing the same things that they would have done historically. And that was one of the mistakes that I made. So Dragonboat Festival has been celebrated for over 2,000 years in China. It used to be called Hygiene Day, where they used all sorts of herbs and medicines and things to try to dispel diseases or illnesses and things like that. It's held on the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, which this year in 2017 happens to be May 30th. And how it's celebrated is there was a very famous national poet. I'm going to butcher the name, I'll go with it, Q Yuan, or a patriotic poet who wrote beautiful sonnets about China and was very, very patriotic. And he was exiled by the king as there was an invasion into China. And instead of being exiled and leaving China to the invasion, he went out into the river and drowned himself. He killed himself rather than leave the country that he loved so much. And the Dragon Boat comes from all the boats of people racing out to try to save this poet from drowning. But of course they weren't successful and he ended up dying. But that's where the Dragon Boats come in. Some things that are traditional. One, the thing I've learned about Chinese holidays, this will always help you in conversation. Every single Chinese festival has a food. There's some food. So they're going to tell you what they eat. That's what the kids will tell you when you say, what are you doing Dragonboat Festival? Well, what they tell me is they eat rice dumplings. There is a Chinese name for it. Gonna butcher it, so I'm not gonna try. Basically, it's a rice dumpling that's like a pyramid. It's wrapped up a lot of times in bamboo. It seems like most of the time, as opposed to other seasons, they put sweet things in. Maybe paste or sugar or meats or many different things go into the rice dumplings. But talking about dumplings with kids, you can almost always get even the lower level kids to talk to you about dumplings. It's a big deal. Now, going to China, I ate a lot of dumplings. I understand. So they eat the rice dumplings, and this is a great thing. You ask kids, and that's the first thing they'll tell me about the Dragonboat Festival is what they eat. Historically, sometimes people wear a perfume pouch or put silk threads on their doors for good luck. In talking to my kids, this doesn't seem to be a common practice. I would say half of my students said that they're going to go see dragon boat races. Most of them, when I say, what are they going to do? They said they're going to play. They're going to play with their friends and eat rice dumplings. And so it sounds like a day where we really spend time playing. I did have a couple students that are traveling to see the historical Dragonboat festivals in different parts of China. My experience with kids who travel during holidays, again, excepting Chinese New Year, they usually take classes anyway. So all of my students that have been traveling during Mid-Autumn Festival or Dragonboat Festival are taking classes with me anyway. They just take it from a hotel, which is always interesting. My student stayed in a hotel, and so he told me about all the things that he saw. Yesterday, apparently, he went to a Dragonboat parade in the river and was telling me about it. Another one of the things that students are quick to tell me about these festivals, and I'm not exactly sure why. They're quick to tell me that it's not real, that's not true. Even my lower level students, and so you can provide the word for them as myth. But it's something that, surprisingly, they really want to make sure that you understand that they don't believe that it's still true. When I've asked students if they do the traditional things that I find on the internet, I have had a couple higher level students that look at me and go, no, we don't really do that anymore. And so I do both. I get the historical context, and then I ask them, what do they do? So far, the Dragonboat Festival hasn't really had a major impact on my scheduling. I don't think it has for most of us. I was still fully booked on Friday, which we talked about yesterday, Friday sometimes being a rough schedule. I was able to pick up as many shifts as I wanted on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Probably could pick up on Tuesday. So those are great things to really capitalize on. Those holidays often bring you a boon of classes. So apparently, Happy Dragonboat Day Festival is an appropriate greeting. I will probably write that in my feedback for the next 2 days, just to let people know that I'm paying attention, I'm honoring their holidays. For you guys, talking about it, I would start with the food and what they do. Hope this has been really helpful. Coming up this week is Children's Day, and I'm going to do another video on Children's Day because Children's Day is a huge deal. It's a huge deal in China. It's a huge deal for our kids. They've already started talking to me about Children's Day. So be looking for that later in the week. It is Memorial Day in the United States, so happy Memorial Day. Happy Dragonboat Festival. See you tomorrow.